Happy Friday, everybody. I hope everybody had an amazing 4th of July weekend, and it was hot. So I hope you guys were able to get by some water or had really good air conditioning. Let's talk a little bit about this week in the news in terms of the market. Relatively flat. Last week we finished up around 52,681. We're about 5,200, 500 and change. We hit a new high earlier this week. The Dow actually crested 53,000 for the first time in the history of the Dow. It's dropped back down a little bit. I think that has a lot to do with the Iran and the U.S. and what's going on there. It's back and forth. The 10-year Treasury last week was 4.4, bounced up 1/10 to 4.5. Not a lot there. And the VIX, the volatility index, was 16.7 last week. It's down into the mid-15s this week, so that's dropped down a little bit. And it's always good we see the volatility drop down, but I think that's more just a function of today because we've had some pretty big days in the green and the red this week. So like I said, we're pretty flat for the week. I think a lot of it has to do with a conflict. One of the other things that you're seeing with tensions with the U.S. and Iran escalating again is you probably went by the gas pumps and notice, I think I've seen about 20 cents on a gallon difference just this week. So that's unfortunate. And until I think they get this stuff cleared up and the Strait of Hormuz is actually opened up for good or without ships getting bombed and shot at, I think we're going to continue to see that volatility at the gas pump. Speaking of that, the number one country in terms of exporting oil and gas, it might surprise you to know that that's the U.S. The U.S. is number one in gas, number one in oil and natural gas, followed by Russia and then Saudi Arabia. Most people would say the Middle East is number one, or Saudi Arabia comes in at number one, but actually they're around 9% of total oil production. The U.S. is up over 20%, and Russia's around 15%. U.S. about 23, 24%. Natural gas, we're far and away number one producer and exporter of natural gas. I'm bringing that up because we look at population growing, we look at demand growing, and people talking about running out of oil and we're going into renewable sources. And I think we are trying to get to renewable sources, but we're at least a decade, maybe two away from where that can have a significant impact on what we actually need from an energy source. So it's actually growing. I don't know, I've been reading and there's technology out there now where they're going into coal plants, and everybody doesn't like coal because it's dirty fuel and leaves a footprint. But I don't know if you guys are aware if there's actually technology now where they're going into coal plants and producing clean hydrogen from the coal plants, and amazing some of the technology. And I think it just reminds me that capitalism, our country, we always find a way. And no matter what's going on, I think we're talking about energy in a crunch. I think we're going to see us coming up and going back to nuclear power. The technology is there as well to make it a lot safer, a lot cleaner, a lot smaller size plants in terms of how much space they need and what they need to run those power plants. It's incredible with what's going on in the technology. And what surprises me is we just don't hear a lot about this. We just hear about all of the negative stuff. And I just wanted to share some positive things with the U.S. in terms of we're the number one exporter of oil and natural gas in the world. That wasn't the case a decade ago. It wasn't the case at all. But we're also, I believe, at the forefront of the technology and what we're trying to do. And I'm not even talking about AI and some of the strides that we're making there. That'll be a conversation for another day. But I thought I would share that with everybody. I hope it makes your day. It certainly makes me feel a little bit better about where we are and that we're going to figure out a way. I want to continue to thank people that you guys have been doing Google reviews. Amazing. And it's just so important I'm talking about AI, the high usage of AI today. That's how people find our firm, and Google reviews, believe it or not, are a big deal. But I really thank you guys that have taken the time to do that. It means so much. Appreciate it. Without further ado, I'm going to jump into the birthdays. I'm getting a little long-winded today on this very warm mid-July. So birthdays, here we go. Daniel W., Dave D., Jan R., Jerry T., Larry S., Patty A., AJ K., Barbara P., Blake B., Jack W., Joseph D., Joseph H., Melanie A., Russell F., Sherry Z., Glenn M., Rick L, Annalise L, Brandon C, Daisy W, David T, John G, Mike P, Tony, Sammy L, our very own Brett Godwin here at our firm had a birthday this past week. Amos L, Donald T. Today we've got 4, Albert M, Barbara D, Carrie, and Risa. And tomorrow we've got 4 as well, David S, Jim, Kathy D, and Shilpa. I hope you all have an amazing birthday and a birthday week. Until next week, guys, stay cool, God bless, and take care. Bye-bye.